Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Chickmount Tunes Audio, and then I'll be showing you the New York City, which is right across here, and includes New Jersey. So, I'm gonna take a look. So, first here is Staten Island. So, usually S79 buses run from let's say from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn to all the way to that part of Richmond, Staten Island. But Staten Island is the only subway line that has a railway. So the line, like the SIR, that it has 22 stations, and it runs between St. George and Tottenville, and this is the only bridge that connects between. So the only bridge that connects between Brooklyn and Staten Island is the Verrazano Bridge. It does have an upper level and lower level roadway. Lower level was for cars only, and upper level is for cars, buses, and trucks, and trailers too. I know. That's why I sound. That's how it works. That's how traffic works. That's how these routes work. So, here is Brooklyn. So, actually, according to the news reports, they have a plant that there will be another connection between Staten Island and Brooklyn is the New York Ferry. This is a proposed route. This route is proposed though. So take a look here in Brooklyn. So Brooklyn it has some leaps and that's a big leap, and basketball. This is an orange part of this, and Brooklyn is one. So Brooklyn has the largest population of people living here in Brooklyn. So yeah. So Queens is the only borough that has two airports. One in JFK, and there's one at JFK Airport in Southern Queens, and there's one in JFK Airport in Southern Queens, and one and the LaGuardia Airport on the Northern Queens. So, by the way, that's how it works. Yeah, this is where airplanes go. So let's see. There's a baseball field usually at Metwood's Point, and also in the Bronx there's another stadium here. So these two are called the Subway Series, like the 7 train at Metwood's Point, and the Yankee Stadium on the BD and 4 trains. So it really is These are the only stadiums that have the Subway Series, and 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 by the way, that the MTA plans to build a new Interborough Express that will run from Brooklyn Army Terminal all the way to Jackson Heights in Queens. That will connect dozens of subway lines, including the Long Island Railroad, and that would cut travel time to 35 to 40 minutes. This will be the fastest, reliable system in the city. So this will be the second route. This will be the second route to go from Brooklyn. This is the second route that will run only between Brooklyn and Queens. Like you saw, this is the G line. So here the Interborough Express, and the MTA introduces its first light rail route called the Interborough Express. So I think that's part of the MTA's 2025 to 2029 capital plan. So yeah, and that's the Rockaways. This is the Rockaways in Southern Queens, and look at this. It's really long though. So it's the only. So the A train is the only line that runs to the A train is the only subway line that runs through the Rockaways, which were built by the IND back in 1950. That was back in 1958. So, oh no, 1956. So, the Rockaways, the IND Rockaway line was built. The IND Rockaway line was built in 1958. So, it runs. The IND Rockaway line was built in 1956. So, and so in the Rockaway Park shuttle, which only runs between Broad Channel, which usually runs between Broad Channel and Rockaway Park, but usually the A train stops there during rush hours. It's to and from Rockaway Park. So the B line. Oh no, not the B line. The A line. And yeah, the Rockaway Park shuttle. It's only run. So usually the Rockaway Park shuttle trains extend to Rockaway Boulevard on summer weekends to make room for the beachgoers, and the A line is the longest route of the entire system, which runs up over 30 miles. Wow, can you see this? Perfect for people riding the subway. And there's also buses. There's also select buses that are running to the Rockaways, like the Q53. And what about Q50? Q35 bus goes to Queens, but not necessarily. But it goes on the Rockaways. So, By the way, this is this is Manhattan. So it only runs. This is Manhattan. It's tilted 29 degrees northeast. So there are 4 Manhattan Edge. So Manhattan Edge sunrises and sunsets occurs 4 times a year. So twice in December. So Manhattan Edge sunrise occurs twice in December and January, and Manhattan Edge sunset occurs between sun and the Manhattan Edge sunset occurs twice in May and July. So the longest day of the year is June 21st, and the shortest day of the year is around December 8th or something. So, anyways, to the Bronx. Let's see, 4, 5, and by the way, like, there are some bridges that connects between one of the bridges that connects between Queens and the Bronx is the Triborough Bridge. That's really interesting. Yeah, it is. But anyway, so this is a part of Manhattan that goes down from north of 200th Street and all the way to Lower Manhattan, which is South Ferry. And the only bridge that connects between Queens and Manhattan is the Atticott Queensboro Bridge. So, aka the 59th Street Bridge. So, and the only tunnel that connects between Queens and Manhattan is the Midtown Tunnel. So there are 3 bridges that connects between Brooklyn and Manhattan. Is the Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, and the Williamsburg Bridge. So these subway lines that connects into 2 bridges. The Manhattan Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge, which serves the B train on weekdays, the Manhattan Bridge, which serves the B and D trains on weekdays. And the Manhattan Bridge, which serves the B train on weekdays, the D and Q trains at all times, and the N train at all times except late nights. And the Williamsburg Bridge, which is served by the J at all times, and the M train at all times except late nights. And the Williamsburg Bridge, which is served by the J train at all times, the M train at all times except late nights, and the Z train during weekday rush hours. Isn't it interesting about New York City? Really? So, what I see here is that, let's say that one. So, the only tunnel that connects between Brooklyn and Manhattan is the Hugh L. Carey Tunnel. The only tunnel that goes through, but not connecting into other bars, is a Battery Tunnel, which goes around it on its side, on the bottom and south of Manhattan, southern Manhattan. So there goes New Jersey. There's a football up north, right here. So New Jersey, which only when I see this, what I notice is that New Jersey have some kind of stuff, like with a bunch of counties. Of course, there are counties in New Jersey. And I should say this, I think that goes, so there are two tunnels that connects between Manhattan and New Jersey. There's the Holland Tunnel on the bottom and Lincoln Tunnel in the middle. And the only bridge that connects between New York and New Jersey is the George Washington Bridge. The most historic bridge. Can you see this? It looks amazing. And it's fantastic. Now let's move on to what about Antarctica? Let's see. Antarctica is big and it's located in the southern hemisphere. So in the northern hemisphere, the longest day of the year is June 21st. And in the southern hemisphere, the longest day of the year is in the southern hemisphere, the longest day of the year is December 21st. So Antarctica have more snow than the Arctic. So that's why you can see warmer climates. Climate change are happening. Climate change happens today. Greenhouse gases smell like the earth is warming. Oh, cool. So up next, Antarctica. Arctic circles and Antarctic circles are always cold. So right here is the tropic. Oops, my bad. So right here is the Tropic of Cancer, which is right down on the bottom, right down. And then that is the equator, which is in the middle of something. This is the equator. And And this is and that's the Tropic of Capricorn, which is in the south. So North America only have three larger countries: the U.S. Oh no, Canada, U.S. and Mexico. That one was formerly named Gulf of Mexico. Now it's Gulf of America. It's right here. It's near. And that's on South America. Oh, let's see what's up there. So it's Greenland and so this part of it is Greenland. So it's one of the largest. It's one of the largest territories in the world. And what about South America? So South America, it is always in South. Like Brazil is right there, and Ecuador is near the equator. But an equator only gains 12 hours of sunlight year round. So, what about it? So, Argentina is really not next to it, and then it's always on the bottom. And Chile is a long line, but over there between Japan and sure is Hawaii. Are you sure that is Hawaii? There it is. There's Hawaii. So Hawaii is near the equator. Some places observe daylight savings and some aren't, and some aren't. But most countries are standard time year round. Like a store. And over there from Japan all the way down here is the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire. And this is where parts of it are going to experience earthquakes more than usual. So, well, it's gonna be a shake. And it's gonna be like that because it's gonna be a shake. And it feels like it's rumbling because these places here are located on the Ring of Fire. So this is where places that may have earthquakes more. But some places like this, earthquakes happen rarely in our area. So in our area, earthquakes are very rare because these countries are far away from the Ring of Fire. So it's the Arctic Ocean, it's the Antarctic Ocean, it's the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, was formerly known as Oceania, and then Oceania, and it was formerly named Oceania. So, and now it's now Australia. So, Australia is big. So, capital for Australia, I think it's Melbourne. Melbourne? Melbourne? I'm not sure. But anyway, so these cities I like the most. So Sydney, Australia, which is on the bottom, and New Zealand is on the point. So Auckland is somewhere right here. So Africa, I think there's a lot of countries in Africa are always hot and steamy. So Egypt is right there. Iran is in the middle. Iran is in the middle. It's in between. So Dubai, I think it's it's located on the UAE. It's somewhere right here. Somalia is right here, and it's South America. Oh no, South Africa is on the bottom. Yeah, Africa is always hot. The continent of Africa temperatures are always hot. And Madagascar is located outside of Africa. So Madagascar is an island. So Europe, it's for a country of Paris and France. So Europe. So Europe is here. So the United Kingdom is up there. The capital for that part of it is London. London does have Big Ben. It goes like boom, boom, boom. It goes like boom. And let's see, Italy is on the bottom. France is right here, and the capital of France is Paris. Yeah, Paris. The city of Paris does have an Eiffel Tower, so it should be on that block, somewhere on that part of Europe. It was formerly named, in the early times, it was Eurasia. Now it's split into Europe and Asia. So Asia is in the middle. So this is where countries are there. Like the largest country is Russia. So yeah, they got everything, and that's Fiji Islands. And it's Japan. The capital of Japan is Tokyo. Okay. Anyways, so you can, that's all of it for me. You can experience more. You can look for maps and look for other stuff that you can see. More countries, more countries to see here. That's on the Maps app. Really? Okay. Leave a like and subscribe and comment it below. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. See you.